Pelwana Richard John Maponya was born in the Limpopo province on 24 December 1926. Although trained as a teacher, Maponya started working in the 1950s at a clothing company seeking an educated black person to sell garments to miners and rural people. Maponya proved an adept buyer of material that would appeal to black people. Just by touching a piece of fabric, he could tell whether it was from Britain, Germany or Italy. The department's white manager took a liking to Maponya, but told him, "You can't become a general manager because you can't oversee white people, there's a glass ceiling over your head." However, as a token of appreciation for the amazing partnership they had formed, the manager gave him soiled clothing and cloth samples, which he sold in his spare time, allowing him to build up capital. Maponya attracted buyers for his clothing, using a pay-while-you-wear scheme, unusual at the time. When his patron retired in 1956, his supply of second-hand clothing ended, and he resigned from the job. When he engaged himself in business around 1956, Maponya was living in Soweto. He wanted to open Soweto's first retail clothing store, but was denied a license. Fortunately, the apartheid-era bureaucrats did give Maponya a license to sell foodstuffs, which were to form the kernel of his fortune. Maponya then set up the Dubai Hygienic Dairy, the first business of its kind in the township of Soweto. At a time when Soweto lacked electricity or refrigerators, he dispatched deliverymen on bicycles speedily to transport customers' milk at peak hours. By the 1970s, when regulations had relaxed slightly, he set up a butchery, 2 grocery stores and a restaurant under the license of a native eating housekeeper. After 28 years of manifestations, Maponya finally realized his dream of building a first-class complex in 2007, Maponya Mall. The shopping center is everything for everyone in the Soweto community, from high-end shoppers to blue-collar workers, and is hailed as the soul of Soweto. Maponya rose from the dust-choked, arid and impoverished rural areas of Limpopo to become one of the most respected and respectable self-made businesspeople in South Africa. Despite the humiliation of apartheid, the deliberate deprivations and racial ceilings and laws forbidding entrepreneurial spirit among black people, he proved a visionary with a dream that refused to die. Now, without any further ado, let's look at the top 10 rules for success the late Richard Maponya lived by.
Our neighbors accommodated us, and we used to run there, and we used to get a system there. But today, when they come into our place, we see them as threat.
Stealing things.
I think this is just created by the fact that our neighbors, many of them, when they come into this country, they are able to initiate things and make money, get into the businesses that we have been running and struggling, and some of them closed, they open them, and they make success, and then we start getting jealous.
So it may have, jealousy is the big one.
And one thing that is giving me a concern, our youngsters are very lazy. They haven't got self-initiative. They haven't got confidence in themselves. And as a result, because of their laziness, our neighbors, when they come in, they will sell bananas, they will do everything and start making money.
Yes.
And of course, we know when they make money,
Then the problem.
It becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Right. But for the benefit of those of us who are much, much younger and are still on this journey called life, trying to learn about this thing called life, you started your journey in business at 24 years old.
Correct.
What convinced you to start a business at 24? When as a young black person, in truth, the system was such that you should have been, let's say, a kilometer underground mining some mineral.
Well, I was a young ANC
Yes.
activist.
Yes.
And during those days, it is true that all black people we were all foreigners
Yes.
in our own country.
Yes.
And when we came into the cities, the white man said we had come into the cities to sell our labor. We don't have any opportunity of doing business at all. But I must tell you this, that it was a challenging time. What I didn't want to see myself doing was to say boss to a young man of my age. I refused to do that. I said, I will never say boss to a young man of my age. Now I'm just appealing to you, young fellows, that please work hard, get educated, and when you are educated, you must not look at the government giving you bread. Wake up and do things for yourselves. Our concern is to see that our young, educated, black boys and girls must get the opportunity of working, of being employed or getting into business in their own right. I think we have to declare war against poverty. We have to declare war against unemployment. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed.
Looking back, you are very well known for working within the system of apartheid, defying the system, making a huge fortune. Was it something about your approach? Was there something unique about you?
Well, you know, if you talk about me, I used to take no. I used to take the word no as an answer. When I'm denied something, I would go back and think, and then come up with a new approach, and knock at the door, and put my point of view until I'm heard by the powers that be. I was not picking up a stone and fight, but I used to go there and convince the powers that be. It was difficult, it was not easy, but thanks God I prevailed under a very difficult situation. We need more business people to create job opportunities. There is a lot of poverty in our country, and the only way we could address this poverty is by us creating a middle class, and as this middle class grows, it pulls the other people who are down the ground to the level where they could have a subsistence type of a living. I would say to my young people, get educated, get trained to be a hands-on man. Even if you are matriculate or a graduate, you must be able to use your own hands and get into business. And if you are educated, you are able to assist in addressing the biggest thing that is called poverty. You work very hard, stop doing drugs, engage yourself in things that would help your community. This problem we're having of unemployment and poverty
and cannot be changed. This relationship, I really believe, is going to make magic. I really believe is going to turn the hearts and minds of our youngsters not to be dependent on people doing things for them. They will wake up and do things for themselves. And as a result of that, they will have a lot of people empowered. But Professor, I thank you very, very much for this relationship. And I only hope that we are going to reach out, not only the urban people here, we will also reach out at the people in the rural areas, everywhere in South Africa, and train them to become, to rely on themselves and not to rely on people doing things for them. I thank you very, very much indeed.
Yes, I have good health. I must be of benefit to my community. And as a result of that, you know, I put up a mall which I fought for 28 years, by the way. I've tried to put up a mall for the people of Soweto, and nobody would believe that there could be a mall of that stature in a place like Soweto. I want a first-class mall. I want a mall that can stand the test of time. One other thing that I will be doing, I'm embarking on a skill and entrepreneurship a training institution, which I want it to be the legacy that I'm going to leave. I want to take on unemployment of our youngsters head on. The only day I'm going to retire is when you say to me, Lala kahle, hamba kahle, goodbye. That will be my retirement time, because then I'm going to sleep for a long time. I don't know when I'm going to wake up.
Well, the message that I would like to give to young entrepreneurs, I want you young people to know that you are our future. You are the future of this country. What I would like to see you do, I want you to go to school and get educated, and when you've got the education, you must come back and stop having the idea of entitlement. There is nothing like entitlement. Please have discipline of starting things yourselves. Do things yourself. I'm educated. I have just matriculated. I'm educated. I have just acquired my BA degree, and I would like to get myself trained so that I can use my own hands and have a self-initiative. This is what I would like to see with the young people. The future is yours. Things are now level. The playing field is level. It's no more like before, when we were told we are not South Africans, when we were denied the right of doing anything. Today, things are in your hands. Umadiba used to say, life is in your hands. And I'm saying to you, life is in your hands. It is for you to take it and run with it and make a success of it. You are our future.
I imagine you say to them, persevere, overcome the obstacles, think out of the box, because that is what defined you.
That is exactly how I advise them. Get educated,
get trained, and never lose your dream. You must never lose your dream, because it is that dream that can make you the person of tomorrow.
Dr. Richard Maponya.